The church smelled like smoke and roses. I stood at the front, dressed in pale white. My hands shook. The dress felt too tight. Mama made it for this day. She cried while sewing it. Reverend Harlow looked at me with cold eyes. His smile was soft, but his stare was hard. "Do you take this man?" The preacher said. I didn't answer. "Evelyn," he said louder. "Do you take this man?" I looked at my father. He nodded. His face was tired. He owed Harlow money. That's why I was here. A promise to pay. A promise to God. My mouth opened, but no words came. I couldn't lie. Not to God. I need time, I whispered. Gasps filled the chapel. Reverend Harlow took my hand. His grip was tight. "You already had time," he said. "We made a deal." "I'm not ready," I said. "You have no choice." I pulled my hand back. "This isn't love." He leaned closer. "This is duty." I felt cold. My knees shook. The cross above us stared down. I wanted to run, but I didn't. Not yet. After the sermon, people left. They said nothing. They only looked. I sat alone in the chapel, my fingers playing with the hem of my dress. Mama came to me. "He will take care of you." I stared at the floor. "He scares me." She didn't answer. She kissed my head and walked away. Later that night, I sat near the fire. Papa coughed in his chair. His eyes were dull. "Do what you must," he said. "The debt is deep." "What did you promise him?" I asked. He looked away. "I promised him peace." I wanted to scream. I went to bed but couldn't sleep. The walls felt too small. The air was thick with smoke and shame. That's when I heard them. "Voices in the kitchen. She will be yours," Papa said. "And if she runs?" Harlow asked. "Then you do what you must," Papa said. "Just leave my wife and youngest." I felt like I couldn't breathe. "You'll get your money's worth," Papa added. Money. That's what I was worth. I waited until the house was quiet. I packed my shawl, Mama's old locket, and a small pistol I found in Papa's drawer. It smelled like oil and rust. I opened the door slow. The wind howled. Rain fell hard. The night was black. I stepped out, heart pounding. My boots sank into mud. I didn't look back. The trees swallowed me. My dress clung to my legs. My teeth chattered. I ran until my feet bled. I didn't know where I was going, only that I had to go. I whispered a prayer, but no voice answered. Only thunder, and my breath, and the sound of the promise breaking behind me. The rain hit my face like stones, cold, hard, and fast. I could barely see the path. My shawl was soaked, heavy on my back. I kept walking. I didn't care where. Just away, my boots sank in the mud. Each step felt harder. My fingers were numb. I prayed I wouldn't fall. Then I saw him. A man lying by the river. Still. Wet blood on his shirt. Eyes half open, I stopped. Looked around, no one. Only trees and rain. I stepped closer. "Sir?" I said. No answer. His face was pale, gray eyes. A scar on his jaw. He moved his hand. "Barely. Help. Me." I froze. He was hurt. Maybe dying. Maybe dangerous. I saw the gun near him. His fingers were close to it. Too close. I stepped back. "He saw me. Please," he said again. Voice rough, low, weak. I looked at the trees. No sign of the sheriff. No sign of Harlow. "I shouldn't," I whispered. But my feet didn't move. He coughed. "You got a name?" I asked. "Liam." "Where's the bullet?" Sighed. I saw the hole in his coat. Dark, wet. I bent down. Tore my shawl. Pressed it on the wound. He gasped. "Don't pass out," I said. He didn't. I looked around again. We couldn't stay here. He'd die. A barn stood near the trees. Old. Empty. "Can you walk?" "No." "Then don't bite me," I said. I lifted him, his arm over my shoulder. He was heavy, but I didn't let go. We got to the barn. I kicked the door open. Hay, wood, cold wind. I dropped him on a pile of sacks. He groaned. "Lay still," I said. "Why help me?" he asked. I didn't answer. I found a lantern. Lit it. Soft light filled the barn. I checked the wound again. Blood still fresh. "I need to cut it," I said. He nodded. I pulled a knife from my boot. Cleaned it with the flame. He watched me. "You done this before?" he asked. "No." "Great. Hold still." I cut the shirt. Tore it open. The hole was deep near his ribs. I cleaned it with water. He didn't scream, but his eyes shut tight. I found a needle in my bag. Threaded it. My hands shook. "I'm not a doctor," I said. "You're better than most," he said. I stitched the wound. Slow. Careful. Blood stained my fingers. When I finished, I covered it with cloth. Then I sat beside him. Breathing hard, he didn't thank me. Just stared. What? I asked. You look like you're running. I am. From who? A preacher, he chuckled. Hell of a choice. Yeah, I said. You? Sheriff. Old partner. Take your pick. You kill someone? Maybe. I looked at the gun on the floor. Still close to his hand. You gonna shoot me? No. Then move that thing. He pushed it away. I leaned back. The roof creaked. Rain hit the tin loud and fast. You cold? He asked. No. Liar. I was shaking. Wet to the bone. He took his coat. Held it out. I stitched you up. Not sharing your coat, he smiled. Suit yourself. I pulled the coat over my legs anyway. You pray? He asked. Used to. Why'd you stop? I prayed to get out. God didn't answer. So I ran. He didn't speak. The rain kept falling. The barn was warm now. Or maybe I was too tired to feel the cold. Thank you, he said at last. I nodded. Where you heading? He asked. West. Don't care where. Smart. You? Nowhere. Sounds nice. He chuckled again. You sleep first, I said. I'll keep watch. You sure? I got a gun too, I said. His eyes closed. His breathing slowed. I sat beside him, watching the door, my fingers on the pistol in my bag. The storm eased. I thought of home. Of Abigail's small hands. Of my mother's song. Of the chapel bells. Then I thought of the preacher's eyes. And I felt sick. I don't know when I fell asleep. But I did. When I woke, the sun was rising. Soft light came through the cracks. Liam was gone. So was his gun. I jumped up. Looked around. He left no note. No sound. But something was different. The fear in my chest? Gone. I smiled. For the first time in days, I picked up the coat. Still warm, and I walked out of the barn. Into the new morning. We stayed in the hills. The nights were cold and quiet. Liam built small fires, careful not to make smoke. I watched him from a rock. He said, You don't have to keep staring. I looked away. I'm not. He gave me a gun. Try again, he said. Hold it tight. I held it wrong. It kicked my arm. You're shaking, he said. I don't like guns, I told him. He nodded. Then you better learn fast. I aimed again. Shot once, missed, he grinned. Better than yesterday. We ate beans and old bread. I tried not to think of home. Liam asked, You miss someone? I didn't answer. He said, You talk in your sleep. What did I say? He shrugged. Mostly Abby. And run. She's my sister. He didn't ask more. One night he burned pages for fire. I saw him rip them from a book. What's that? I asked. He turned. Just paper. I stepped closer. That's a Bible. He looked at me. It's just a book now. I felt sick. Don't. I need fire, he said. You want to freeze? I sat down. I used to read that with my mother. He tossed another page in. She still read it after what that preacher did? I didn't answer. He said, He used that book to hurt you. You know that. I know, I whispered. The next day, Liam brought back a poster. He threw it at my feet. They're looking for us. I picked it up. Liam's face. My face. Wanted for theft and corruption of a preacher's bride. I laughed once, bitter. Corruption? Liam sat. He called you a stolen lamb. Says I kidnapped you. I held the poster. My picture looked scared. He said, You still think he's the Holy One? I didn't. Not anymore. Later I hummed an old tune. Liam asked, What's that? A hymn, I said. Mother sang it when I was sick. He closed his eyes. Sing it again, I sang soft. Be still, my soul. The Lord is near. He opened his eyes. You got a soft voice. I never sang for anyone but Abby. Why me then? I don't know, I smiled. Maybe you need it. He looked away. Maybe I do. That night, we heard horses. Liam grabbed the gun. I froze. He whispered, Sheriff's coming. How do you know? I just do. We hid behind rocks. I held my breath. Liam said, You still want to go back? I looked at him. No, he nodded. Then stay low. After they left, we sat by the fire. He looked tired. We can't stay long. I know, he poked the ashes. You're still scared of me. No, I said. Not anymore. Good, he said. You shouldn't be. I ain't like him. I touched my shawl. You killed men. He didn't speak. I just want truth, I said. He looked at me. I did. I regret it. I nodded. At least you say it. He leaned closer. You're safer with me, Evelyn. Even if I'm the devil, I smiled a little. Then I choose the devil. He chuckled. Didn't expect that. Me neither. We sat in silence. The fire crackled, and for once I didn't feel alone. "Get down," Liam said, pushing me behind the wood stove. "Who is it?" I whispered. He peeked out the window. "Sheriff Holt and 5 men. I grabbed Liam's revolver. My hands shook. "We can run." "We can't. I'm hit." "And they'll shoot you first." He stood up, arms raised. "I'll go out alone." "No." I stepped beside him. "We go together." The door burst open. "Drop the gun," a voice yelled. I pointed the revolver high and fired once. The sound rang through the trees. "Stop!" the sheriff shouted. "Don't shoot again." I dropped the gun and raised my hands. Liam lowered his head and stepped forward. Sheriff Holt's boots hit the porch hard. "Evelyn Carter," he said. "You're in deep now." "I didn't steal anything," I said. "Then why run off with a killer?" "He's not a killer," I said. "He saved me," Liam groaned, holding his side. Blood soaked his coat. The sheriff looked at him, then back at me. "I don't want you," he said. "I want Harlow." "What?" I asked. The sheriff stepped closer. "You know the preacher's lies." "I know he's cruel," I said. "But crimes?" "He's using church money," Holt said. "Laundering cash from ranchers," I blinked. "Why tell me?" "Because you were his bride-to-be." "Not by choice," he nodded. "You help me, give me names, letters, anything." I looked at Liam. His eyes warned me. Don't trust him. "If I help," I said, "do we walk free?" "You help me bury Harlow," the sheriff said. "I'll forget the rest." We rode into town under gray skies. Liam stayed quiet. He stared ahead, jaw tight. I rode beside the sheriff, my wrists tied. At the church gate, people stood waiting. Whispers grew as we passed. "Is that her?" someone said. "She ran with a thief." She broke her promise to God. Then I saw her. Abigail. She stood at the chapel steps, holding a shawl. Her eyes filled with tears when she saw me. "Evelyn," she cried. I jumped down and ran to her. She wrapped her arms around me. "They said you were dead," she whispered. "They used you," I said. "To catch me," she nodded. "Reverend said you were lost." I pulled away and looked around. "Where's Liam?" Abigail looked back. "He was right behind us." But Liam was gone. Holt cursed. "He slipped us. You tied him, right?" I asked. "He was weak," he said. "I didn't think." I ran toward the stables. Nothing. Ran behind the chapel. Empty. I checked the old barn. Only silence. Back in the square, Reverend Harlow stepped out. His white robes shone like snow. But his eyes were dark. "Sharp, child," he said. "You've come home." I stopped. My fists clenched. "I didn't come back for you." He stepped closer. "The devil tempted you." "No," I said. "He freed me," the crowd gasped. Harlow raised his voice. "You ran with sin, but the Lord forgives. You threatened my family. You broke our covenant," he said. "It was never mine." He reached for my hand. I pulled back. "I know what you did," I said. His smile faded. The sheriff stepped between us. "Let her be," he warned. "Don't touch her again." I found Abigail at the cottage. She poured water over my hands. "You smell like fire and rain," she said. "I can't stay long," I whispered. "Where will you go?" I looked out the window. Anywhere he's not. I closed my eyes and prayed, but no words came, just silence. And Liam's empty saddle. The house smelled like old wood and burning oil. I hadn't stepped inside since the day I ran. My feet stopped at the chapel door. "Welcome home," Harlow said. I didn't answer. I only nodded and walked past him. He placed his hand on my back. "You've been gone too long, but I forgive you." I kept walking. In my old room, the air felt too still. Dust covered my things. The shawl I left was still on the chair. I touched it. Later that night, he called me into his study. "Sit, Evelyn." I stayed standing. "I know you were with the outlaw," he said. "Did he touch you?" My hands clenched. "Why does it matter?" His smile was cold. "You were promised to God." I stepped back. "You mean promised to you?" He rose from his chair. "I saved your family. I paid your father's debts. Without me, you'd be in the gutter. He's dead," I said. "You didn't save him." His face changed. He was weak. "He owed too much. He brought shame to your name." I reached into my pocket. The pistol felt heavy in my hand. "Did you kill him?" I asked. He laughed. "No, I only stopped helping him." "That's not a sin." I pointed the gun at him. My fingers shook. "You won't do it," he said. You're too scared. He was right. I lowered the pistol. You think that man loves you? He said. He's a killer. I turned and walked out. I went to the chapel. Inside, the candles burned low. I sat on the floor. I looked at the cross. Behind it, I saw something strange. The wood panel was loose. I pulled it off. A book fell out, a ledger. Names, numbers, payments, all written in careful ink, church money. Dirty money. Money from pain. My father's name was in it. His debt, his last payment. The day he died, I carried the book in my arms. My heart raced. I ran to Father Elias. He opened the door and saw my face. I need to talk, I said. He led me in. I showed him the ledger. He turned the pages. His hands were slow. I knew he had secrets, he said, but not this. What should I do? I asked. He looked at me. God is not watching, child. Men are. And they follow power. I want to stop him. You want revenge, he said. But truth matters more. I left the book with him. Then I went back to the chapel. The candles were gone. The room was dark. I carried a lantern and held the matches tight. I stared at the cross. He made me pray here, I whispered. He said God forgives all sins, but not mine. I lit the ledger. The fire rose fast. Smoke filled the room. The pages turned black, I whispered. Let him answer to heaven himself. Then I walked out. I stood in the rain. The fire glowed behind me. That's when I saw the horse. A shadow came closer. I raised the pistol again. He dropped from the horse. Limped toward me, Liam. His voice was low. They know. I need help. I ran to him. My arms wrapped around his back. You came back. I had to, he said. For you. My tears mixed with the rain. We have to leave, I said. He nodded. But not yet. One more thing to finish. The bells rang in the distance. The fire behind us burned higher. And in my heart, I felt both fear and hope. The sky turned red. Smoke rolled in from the hills. I heard the bells. Not for church. For blood, I ran. I didn't think. I just followed the smoke. Gunshots cracked like thunder. Screams rose and fell. I passed burning wagons and broken glass. Then I saw him. Liam. I dropped beside him in the stable. His shirt was soaked in blood. He looked at me, barely breathing. I knew. You'd come. You're hurt. I grabbed his hand. We have to go. He tried to sit up. Jonas. Told them. I know. My throat burned. We still have time. Hooves pounded outside. Voices shouted. We can't go out the front, I said. Liam coughed. There's a back gate. Near the well. I pulled him up. He groaned. Lean on me. We stepped into the alley, smoke biting our eyes. The fire had spread. I can't walk fast, he said. You don't need to. Just hold on. We reached the gate. It was locked. I kicked it once. Nothing. Again. It rattled. Then I heard a voice behind us. Running again, Evelyn? I froze. Liam turned. Reverend Harlow stood in the smoke, pistol in hand. His black coat was covered in ash. Step away from him. No. I stepped in front of Liam. It's over. You think so? His voice was calm, too calm. You ran from God. You let this man defile you. I chose him. My voice shook. Not you, he raised his gun. Then you'll die with him. Liam pushed me aside. Run! No! I raised my pistol. Harlow laughed. You? With that? I pulled the trigger. The blast was loud. Harlow's eyes went wide. He dropped to his knees. Blood soaked his chest. He fell face first into the mud. I stood frozen. My hand shook. Liam leaned against the wall. You did it. I looked at him. You're bleeding worse, he nodded slowly. It's okay. No, it's not. I knelt beside him. We'll get help, he smiled, weak. I always knew. You were fire. Don't say that. The church bell rang again. Once, twice. Liam's eyes closed. I held his hand. Please. The fire crackled behind us. The smoke swallowed everything. I stayed there in the ash and silence until the sun broke through. I stood by the river, wind cold on my face. The earth was soft. I dug with both hands. He died here, I whispered. So he rests here. I placed the locket on the small wooden cross. It was the only thing I had left of Mama. Now it was his. I sat beside the grave for a long time. The sun rose slow. The sky turned gray-blue. You weren't all good, I said. But you saved me. The sheriff came at noon. He rode alone. "You're not running," he said. "No," I answered. "Not anymore." He looked at the grave, then at me. "That man—" "He killed many, but not without cause." "I know," I said. My voice didn't shake. "You shot the preacher." "I had to," I said. "He would have killed Liam." The sheriff pulled out a paper. "I'll burn this." It was my warrant. "Why?" I asked. "Because no one saw what I did," he said. "A girl with a broken past and a steady hand." "Thank you," I said. He nodded. "Leave before morning. Let the past stay dead." He turned his horse and rode off. I sat there until the light faded. When I walked back to town, eyes followed me. Some people looked with fear, some with hate. No one said a word. Abigail met me at the porch. She held bread in her arms. "You look tired," she said softly. "I buried him," I said. "I know." We sat on the steps. I ate in silence. The bread was still warm. "I'm sorry I left you," I told her. "You didn't leave," she said. "You escaped." I looked at her, really looked. She was older now, eyes deeper, voice stronger. "He used you to get to me," I said. She nodded. "He scared me, Evie. I won't let anyone hurt you again. You won't be here," she said quiet. "No," I whispered. "But I'll always be with you." Later I went to the chapel. It was half burned. The cross was still standing. Father Elias was there, sweeping ashes. He looked up when I entered. "Grace," he said. He always called me that. "I don't have answers," I told him. "Me neither. I killed a man. I know." He used God to lie. "To hurt. I failed you," he said. I saw the signs. I walked closer. "Then say something. Anything." He placed a hand on my head. He didn't speak. Just stood there, blessing me in silence. Tears ran down my face. Not for him. Not for Liam. For me. "I don't believe like I used to," I said. "That's all right. I left as the bells rang once." Not for prayer. For memory. Back home I packed only what I needed. My shawl, a map, Liam's revolver. Abigail handed me a small pouch. "Money," she said. "Mama saved it for you." I hugged her tight. "Write me someday," she whispered. "I will." I walked out as the sky turned gold. The wind carried ash, dust, and something new. Hope, maybe. Or peace. One last time I turned to look. The house, the chapel, the graveyard. All of it behind me now. I didn't pray. I just walked, and for once, I felt light. The road was dry, wide, and empty. My horse moved slow. The saddle creaked beneath me. Liam's revolver sat heavy in my coat. Wind touched my face like a ghost's hand. I looked back once. The town was gone behind hills and dust. Nothing left but smoke. I touched the locket in my pocket. It felt cold. Not like before. I didn't cry. I didn't pray. I just rode. A child's voice echoed in my head. "Are you bad, Miss Evelyn?" I smiled a little. Just for him. The river came into view. Wide, still. That's where I met him. Liam, bleeding, cursing, alive. I stopped my horse and slid down. Walked to the water. Sat. The locket dropped from my hand. It sank. That was goodbye. By noon I found a group of settlers resting near a canyon. 5 people. 3 men, 2 women. One had a baby on her back. One man stood as I came near. He was tall, sunburned, thin. "You lost?" he asked. I shook my head. "Just passing through." He looked at my horse, then at the gun on my hip. "You alone?" "Yes." "Name?" I opened my mouth. Almost said it. "Evelyn." But that girl was gone. "Grace," I said. "Just Grace," he nodded. "You can share our fire." "Got stew." I tied my horse and sat by the fire. A boy handed me bread. He smiled, missing teeth. "You a lady outlaw?" he asked. I laughed, but it caught in my throat. "No," I said. "Not anymore." Later, I heard the wind pick up. The woman with the baby looked worried. "We need to move before sundown," she said. The tall man nodded. "You ride with us?" I thought for a second. "No, I go west. You sure?" he asked. "Yes." I stood. Took one last bite of stew. It tasted like dust and hope. The baby stared at me. Big brown eyes, quiet. I bent down. Touched her hand. "Be safe, little one." I rode again, alone. The road curved toward the canyon. My shadow stretched ahead of me. I passed a broken fence. An old church bell lay rusted nearby. I stared at it. It looked like home. And it didn't. I kept riding. By nightfall, I found a high place above the valley. I stopped. Looked down. Fires lit the land below. Camps, maybe, or towns, or something else. Smoke rose slow and soft. It looked like wings in the sky. I touched Liam's revolver. "You still with me?" I whispered. The wind answered, soft. I thought of Abigail, of the preacher, of the chapel fire. I thought of Liam bleeding in my arms. Of the bullet I fired, I thought of my father's voice, of Mother's hymn. Then I closed my eyes, and for the first time, I felt light. I opened them again. The stars were bright. I turned my horse west. The dark didn't scare me now. Behind me there was fire. Ahead of me only sky, and in the middle, me, just Grace.